Hi. This episode, we are going to be talking about Eavan Boland. 2020 was a rough year. We lost a tremendous number of great people. Many of you might have lost someone close to you. I feel like Eavan Boland is someone close to me and close to the hearts of so many people who love poetry. And I hope you're going to catch some idea of why with this poem, Ready for Flight. So we'll give it a quick read here, and then we'll dig into just kind of start a discussion on why I think this sonnet is important. Ready for Flight. From this I will not swerve, nor fall, nor falter. If around your heart the crowds disperse, and I, who at their whim now freeze or swelter, am allowed to come to a more temperate place, and if a runner starts to run to me, dispatched by you, crying that all is trampled underfoot, terraces smashed, the entry into holy places rudely sampled, then I would come at once, my love, with love, bringing to wasted areas the sight of butterfly and swan and turtle dove, their wings ruffled like sails, ready for flight. In such surroundings, after the decease of devils, you and I would live in peace. So the tone and the rhetoric of this poem is very complicated. I don't know to whom she has addressed this sonnet. Sometimes I feel like it's not exactly a lover, but kind of like maybe all of Ireland. We're talking about a Irish poet who responded very directly to the sense of English being her language, but it also of being a language that was imposed on the Irish. And she's very connected to the tradition of Irish national independence poets like Yeats, for example, and maybe she feels connected to those like Seamus Heaney, who we've discussed. Complicated poem. Let's look at that opening. From this I will not swerve, nor fall, nor falter. We have this classic sonnet opening here of negation, of rhetorical negation, of saying I won't do all these things, I won't do this, I won't do this. We get that initial trochee, from this. Maybe it's not, maybe that's iambic. From this I will not swerve, nor fall, nor falter, but it's still very emphatic, that from. And all that negation, and the nor, two nors in one line is very, very strong. And then after that, if around your heart the crowds disperse. So it's hard to imagine crowds around, if around your heart the crowds. Are there usually crowds gathered around someone's heart? I mean, I suppose, but it seems to me more like she's talking about a people, a collective, an idea, or a nation to me. And I, at their whim, now freeze or swelter. So she's talking about perhaps her role as a poet. The poet in Ireland is perhaps more valued than it is in some other cultures. She feels appointed by the people of Ireland to speak for them at their whim, which is painful at times, I think, or uncomfortable or difficult. If a runner starts to run to me, dispatched by you, crying that all is trampled underfoot, terraces smashed, the entry into holy places rudely sampled. So, that's not good. This to me alludes to war and strife of either for Irish independence or the Troubles in Northern Ireland, ongoing violence. The rudely sampled implies, to me, sexual violence. Eavan Boland in her poetry talks bravely of domestic violence. Maybe this is an entry point here to allude to some of those the complexities of a violent and complex tradition. It's not uniquely Irish. It's not like the Irish are violent and we Americans aren't. I don't think that's what she's saying. So what is her solution? What's her solution to the problem set up in the octave? What does she propose to do about it in the sestet? I would come at once, my love would love. So it sounds trite, right? Okay, well, you'll come with love, so you'll be a loving person, right? Oh, well, people are dying and, people are getting hurt. I'll come with hugs and kisses and, I'll make things better. I'll kiss the boo-boo. Bringing to wasted areas the sight of butterfly and swan and turtle dove. How do you bring to wasted areas the sight of them? How does that work? So can you carry sights of things? Like, oh, well, I brought this photograph of a turtle dove. Why would that help anyone? Oh, look at this turtle dove. Look at this swan or this butterfly. What are swans and butterflies and turtle doves? Where do they come from? They come from the English poetic tradition, the Anglo tradition. The turtle dove is something Shakespeare writes of. The swan, Yeats grapples with this swan and Leda and the Swan. I can't think of a specific butterfly off the top of my head, but certainly there are those. Their wings ruffled like sails ready for flight. So she's offering this escape that poetry and perhaps the Anglo tradition and its fantasy offer this escape. I don't know. Maybe she's saying that. I don't want to speak for this poem, but it's a possible reading. In such surroundings, after the decease of devils, you and I would live in peace. But we know devils can't be killed like that. We know devils aren't just, you can't kill them and they go away. There's a wistfulness to the poem, an irony, a pain that the cures that she offers as a poet, she knows on some level are superficial or ineffective. But nevertheless, it's what she can do with her whole entire heart, with such conviction to try to help, to give people an escape, to give people a sense of beauty. But she can't help but witness. We talk about the octave, those first 8 lines, as a witness, to observe, to truly observe. And Boland is a witness of history in a way few other poets have ever been. Well, I think I will leave it at that with this piece. Certainly a lot to think about. And please join me again. It's been fun to do some contemporary stuff, but I'll keep things moving and try to keep you guys on your toes. Thanks for joining me once again. Have a good one.